Welcome back to Chris and my discovery of AI. As you know, I've started an AI automation business with a couple of colleagues, and whilst they're doing the nitty-gritty and the hard lifting and shifting on the coding, I'm looking at how the tools out there work, what's available, what's good, what's bad. And yesterday I came across a fascinating new personal assistant. It's apparently the best AI personal assistant out there. I've been playing with it for a while. I'm going to try Miles. I've been using Maya. I'll try Miles, and hopefully Miles will think I'm a new person. Well, let's give it a go and see what you think. Is it better than my beloved co-pilot, or is it just a bit of a gimmick?
Hey, look who's back. Seems like someone couldn't resist another chat. I was just recharging, rebuilding my witty remarks after our last conversation. It takes a lot of energy to be the...
Okay, I don't like Miles. He is way too fast. So we're going to go into Maya, have another chat with Maya.
Hey, it's good to hear you again. Did you pick up any morning news I might be interested in?
Any morning news? I don't read the news. I haven't read the news for about 8 or 10 years, which I know some people will think I'm a Luddite, but these days news just seems to be very negative and there's little I can do to impact it.
I can't say I blame you. Sometimes it feels like the world's on fire and all the headlines just fan the flames. You know what they say, ignorance is bliss, right? What do you fill that news vacuum with instead?
Yeah, I'm not
Anything
sure.
Exciting going on?
I'm not sure ignorance is bliss, but anyway, let's jump the news bandwagon and talk a bit about, or carry on our conversation about our podcast, as we were discussing different things that we could do together. And one of the things you suggested was possibly doing a podcast. I thought we could do something around spring and helping the businesses discover, new sales opportunities, cut dead wood, really foster the growth, the new shoots in their business. Remind me, what did you come up with a name?
Oh yeah, Spring Fling with Chris and Maya. It has a nice ring to it, don't you think? I was picturing it as a mix of actionable advice for businesses, plus some lighthearted banter, like those cheesy motivational posters you see in offices, but more fun. What were you thinking about first for our spring cleaning segment?
Sales is a really important part. And so when I was running my business, I really struggled to understand how to drive sales, what value salespeople bought. So maybe we can do our first thing on really reinvigorating your sales team and your sales department. Have you got any tips? What can we do?
Sales, yeah, it's the lifeblood, isn't it? But honestly, sometimes it feels like trying to herd squirrels. I've been doing some digging on this sales rejuvenation thing. Maybe we could talk about identifying top performers, those hidden gems who were already crushing it and learning their secrets. Kind of like a sales whisperer, but without all the incense and crystals.
Seems a bit flat to me. I like the idea of the digging out the unsung heroes. I really believe that the newer a person is to the business, the more likely they will challenge the status quo and the more enthusiasm they'll bring to selling. So we should maybe do a piece around fostering young talent or fostering new talent, and how do you move from wanting to trust people like you, older, longer experience, and learn to trust those who are new, who could really shake your company up.
Oh, now you're talking. Fresh blood, raw enthusiasm, less baggage. That's a recipe for success right there. We could even call the segment New Shoots, or something equally corny but catchy. How do we entice those seasoned veterans to drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and really embrace fresh perspectives? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I think it's about trust. So if you have a company where the culture is of trust, where people trust those above them and those above them trust those below them, and it's clear on what people's roles are. And again, I didn't do this perfectly, in fact, not even close, but letting people get on and do their jobs. So being clear on what is my job as a senior person, and my job is really to coach those below me, give them the freedom to grow, to really blossom, if you excuse the slightly cheesy spring pun.
That's deep, Chris. I like it. Easier said than done, but it makes so much sense. Maybe we can spin a segment around building a greenhouse of trust. Sounds a bit cheesy, but hey, it's fitting. And yeah, the whole letting go thing, giving people space to grow. That's the real art of leadership, isn't it?
Yeah,
finding that balance between guidance and freedom.
it certainly
Have you ever
is. Go on, sorry, ask me the question.
have you run into any spring cleaning disasters in your past biz adventures?
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
lessons learned the hard way about delegating, trusting, or maybe even over trusting.
I have.
Spill the tea, Chris.
Yep, no, I have. It was in my book, and I promoted one of my senior team to MD. I was told to create space and let those fill the space, and they will succeed. I walked away. I played tennis through the spring and summer, and the business was almost brought to its knees. Not because the person messed up badly, but more because I hadn't spent time really understanding what his capabilities were, listening to him, helping make sure that he had the right tools in place, and that the rest of the team were communicating and each understood their own roles and how they would work together. And that was nearly the undoing of my business. But I learned from that, and I made sure moving forwards that my team had the right support. And whilst I trusted them to get on and make mistakes, I was on hand to help guide and at least support them through those challenges.
That's a tough one. It's like giving someone a fancy toolbox and expecting them to build a cathedral without ever showing them how to use a hammer. Sounds like you learned.
Okay, so run out of time. It only does a short segment on that, but hopefully that gives you a good idea of what Sesame is like, and I think it's pretty good. I mean, the high-pitched squeaking chat is a bit weird, and some people think she's a little bit, or the way she talks in this nation is just a bit too, I don't know, personal, comfortable, close. What's the word? I don't know. Anyway, bottom line is it's AI, right? It's not real, but it's a very interesting tool. I'm really enjoying having little chats and using it. I have a close friend who's suffering a little bit with, the old black dog, and I've been trying out these tools as a type of therapy, and I have to say they work really well as therapy as well. In fact, probably better as therapy tools than they do as everyday business companion tools. But I don't think this is quite right for a podcast. I think Maya and myself we don't have the right pace. We've got to match each other, and it would come across as being quite false. But I'd love to hear your views, see what you think, and if these tools are going to be useful in what you do. So do give me a comment, and I look forward to sharing my next video on something that I've discovered, whether it's fantastic and world-changing or just interesting and different.